$6.5 million in a rigged dice game, which Adrian Broner is supposedly, allegedly involved. And let me counterpunch. First of all, people, let me say this. This happened back in 2019. This is probably when, I beat that boy. I beat that boy. I beat him. I did this for the whole hood. I brought the whole hood out here. Right? That's what that time, back in that day, when I had bronchitis so bad that I was in the emergency room. Those times. In 2019, Adrian Broner made a whopping amount of money fighting Manny Pacquiao. And so did Manny Pacquiao on the PBC platform. Now, I'll say this. If this happened, it happened. I mean, this is really not new news. This is something that just came up when someone decided to snitch. Someone informed someone else about AB being there. That's the only way it could have worked. Now, thing about gambling, it's all crooked, isn't it? That's why I don't gamble. Because, you will have situations like that. It's a real slime ball way to make money. It is. I know a lot of people like gambling. That's one of their vices or whatever, but it ain't one of mine. Okay? But nonetheless, it's like AB, though, with the things that he does, the things that he says in front of cameras and things of that nature, it's more incriminating and more fallible to do things like this, to have these type of things happening. Like, hey, yeah, you really did, or you really are capable of doing these type of things. But, I'm just wondering, like, all this stuff coming down on the man now, because, whatever money, if he was involved, he didn't have all of 6.5 million, but he had a cut if he was behind it. You know what I'm saying? I think, Adrian Broner is unlucky because he probably is one of the guys that has the most known name, and that's the person they normally go after, that celebrity status person. That's what makes it bad. And he doesn't have anything like that now. In fact, Adrian Broner is only 33, but he looks like he's about 53. He looks bad, bro. You know what I mean? He needs help on top of help on top of help, crash and burn. And if he did get caught up into these things, this is another thing that's coming back to haunt him. And a lot of things have happened to Adrian Broner, SA allegations and, assault allegations and, all types of stuff, shootings and all types of shit, that happened to Adrian Broner. And I think Adrian Broner should just take it easy. You know what I mean? Just, I don't see them, they say they're the cops are roughing him up and all this for info. But I don't see that happening or going anywhere, honestly, because allegedly if it happened, it happened. You got to think about it, a high-stake dice game, and if it was a scam, did they have a license to gamble anyway? You see what I mean? So, you have to look at it in that way. Unless it was official and, they did have some crappy dice or some funny dice, but again, the house wins. And how do you think the house wins? But anyway, these type of things happen in the sport. Again, Adrian Broner, I wish him the best. He's always into something, and this is another one of those somethings. But you guys tell me what you think of Adrian Broner involved in a $6.5 million scam that happened way back in 2019. Of course, please subscribe, and you guys been Counterpunch. Peace.